Welcome to the One in the Shibal podcast with Susie and Ed.
We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit. Hi, Ed.
We always do that at the end. It makes sense here.
Right. Hi, Ed. How are you?
Good. How have you been other than melting?
Melting, but fine. You know, just keeping myself busy. And you might notice that I'm a little more formal than usual today. We had to do it on a different day, so I just ran in here straight from work. So
yeah,
I
just ran here, literally.
So, you know, just in my professional clothes today. But I'm good. I've just been, I'm going to just say this for the rest of my life every week, and I hope no one gets bored of it. I'm just really fucking busy.
Yeah. Life.
Really busy.
I think it's very relatable.
I think so. I really feel like every day I wake up and I'm like, all right, I got all these things on the list. I'm going to check them off one at a time. And then I just like lose one step, or I like miscalculate a half an hour here, and then it all just goes to shit.
Oh, I was about to ask you, does the wind go out of your sails before or after you get out of bed? Because for me, sometimes I'm like, I wake up with the same. I'm like, I'm gonna kill shit today. And then sometimes, like, even before I get out of bed, I'm like, let's be realistic.
I don't have that option. Right. I don't have the option because it's like, Mommy, I'm on a smoothie. Mom, did you make pancakes? Or like whatever. So I don't really have that option, or I have dogs that, you know, need to go out. And
same.
So I don't have that option. But I don't know if it's like self-sabotage, or I don't know what it is, but like if one thing just kind of spirals or doesn't go exactly as planned, or like the calculation is off, I'm like, fuck it all. Fuck all of it. I'm not doing any of it. Fuck it. I'm not doing any of it. But I don't have that option. I actually have to do it. So then I'll sabotage one thing usually in my day. But if I do most of the things in my day and only miss one, it's still a win. For me, it's a win.
Huge win.
I guess.
It's weird. I'm exactly the same way. One little thing and any plan goes wrong, and it just throws me off completely.
But
everything. It's so weird how you hear the same experiences you think and live every day, but you hear someone else say it, and all of a sudden you see totally different perspectives that you can on your own. Maybe we feel that way because we put so much pressure on ourselves with all the stuff we have to accomplish.
100%.
So that little bit of uncontrollability fucks us up because we're like, we planned this out so well.
Or, hear me out, maybe it's our way of being like, well, we couldn't do it all, so I'm going to absolve myself of this responsibility because, you know what I mean? Or like finding a way to just like find a trap door. Somewhere to be like, I need to just fucking take the pressure off. Yeah. Somebody needs to put a pin in this balloon and pop it because I can't do all this shit. Yeah. So even if it's something so simple, like what did I do the other day? Oh, I made an entire batch of carrot juice, your favorite. And I was saving it for you. No. And I spilled like half of it on the counter. And like, you know, it goes under the fucking coffee maker and it goes under the fucking juicer, and it was just a mess. And I was like, okay, well, my day is over. You know what?
Wait, when did this happen?
I don't even know.
3 days ago?
Yeah, 2-3 days ago. Why?
Oh my God. On that exact same night, potentially.
Yes.
I had just made jajangmyeon for my mom.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm doing this series where I'm like cooking for my mom, you know, because like she can't cook for me anymore. But I made jajangmyeon and I made the noodles. And as I'm pouring it in the sink into the strainer.
Oh my God.
One of those handles, and I swear I didn't even feel it slip out. It just slipped out. And the noodles just went right down the drain.
All of them?
The whole pot. And even the ones that didn't go fully down the drain were like half down the drain. I was like, what are you going to do? Eat that?
Yeah,
no.
gross.
Oh, gross.
No, it's like the dirtiest thing in the house.
So literally the same thing happened. And I literally was like,
fuck it all.
I was like, I give up. I was like, and then I was like, wait, you have backup jajangmyeon noodles in the fridge.
Still.
Because like I made multiple nights.
But I get so like.
But then I had to go out and get more.
See? I get so just like overwhelmed by it that I'm like, I'm going to just take it as like the universe being like, hey, bitch, this is just what's happening, and you just need to fucking deal with it and get over it.
Maybe even ourselves subconsciously is like, you need to shut down.
Yes. Well, that's what my body will do. Like when I get sick, I almost never get sick. But if I get sick to the point where I'm like, I cannot open my eyes. I cannot take a deep breath. I feel like I have to just completely shut the entire outside world out. And
Your virus is life.
Yeah, right. My family will get the same illness, and like my husband will like get the sniffles, and my daughters will be like, I feel sick anyway, you know, whatever. But I'm like, I'm dying and I need, that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, don't help me. Stay away from me. I'm plagued. No, run, save yourselves. Don't breathe this air. It's, you know, I'm like, run, children, burn the house down with mommy in it. Because my body's just like, you have to stop. You have to stop. And so these last few weeks, I have been really on the go. So I'm also just like, that's why I was making the fucking carrot juice. I'm like, I gotta like take care of myself because I know that if I get sick, I'm just gonna get laid the fuck out, and then I fucking spilled it. So maybe again, subconsciously, my body's like, sorry, you're getting shut down.
Do you know what I always feel like would make me feel better in those moments?
Drugs.
Oh, I do that.
Okay.
I do that. The bong is not that far away, but sometimes I just want to like full blown have a temper tantrum.
Oh yeah.
I just want to like drop to the ground and just like scream.
You know what we should do? We should do one of those episodes where you could go in that room and just break shit.
Stuff. Oh my God, I wanted to do that for so long.
We're doing it. I'll pick a day. I will make time.
Yeah.
I will make time. I feel like you and I are gonna end up like crying.
Oh, that's not funny. Well, probably.
No, I think it's going to be so like cathartic and like just this release is going to be like so intense. We're going to be sitting in a room full of broken glass, just sobbing at each other.
Laugh, cry.
And you know, right before we started shooting, we were talking about something about how Ed and I are kind of always seen as like we're always like together or like always incorporated in a group together. Or we
do a podcast.
Yeah, Susie and Ed. It's always Susie and Ed. Yeah. And he's like, you know, we're different people. And I'm kind of in my mind like, are we? Are we different people?
Yeah, it's like we split souls somewhere.
Yeah, we're the same person living in two completely maniacal people's bodies.
Maybe we're like siblings or BFFs in another life.
Possibly. I believe that. I believe that my younger sister was either my parent or my older sister in another life, but don't tell her that. It's just because she's bossy, but she's always right. And definitely don't tell her that. God, she would really take advantage.
Hear it.
Yeah, right. I don't think she's funny. She says she doesn't listen to the podcast. And I was like, why? I was like, you should be supporting me. She's like, I feel like I'm almost listening to your diary. I feel like it almost feels to her like she's invading my privacy, which is really, I get it. Like, I get it. Like,
because she knows you interpersonally.
Yeah. I think so. She feels like she's getting like, she feels like there's like an imbalance because she's hearing so much of how I feel emotionally and internally, and she's not,
because it's not a two-way.
It's right. So I'm not getting it from her. So she feels like she's like spying on me, even though obviously she wouldn't be. And I was like, oh, that really makes sense. And I was like, she's just like, I just want to like maintain like healthy boundaries, and like I don't want to ever hear you say something and then maybe use it against you. And I'm like, wow, that's mature as fuck.
You got finagled.
But I was like, if you don't want to listen to it, just fucking say it.
She is good.
No, but it's true though. It's true.
No,
I know her, and she's a wonderful person, but she can be a real fucking bitch. And she can say shit to me. Like, she's the only person I think in this world that has ever said something to me. No, that I've been like, whoa, I am emotionally, I can't handle that. That was so cutting and so deep and so like personal.
Not profound.
No.
Oh, like
she'll say something. She knows exactly what the fuck to say. And I to some degree, same thing for her, where she's just like, she said something to me once, and I was just like, I can't believe you said that to me. You have broken my heart. And she's like, and she was like, fuck you. And then she was like, I'm so sorry. You know, but we know that about each other. We're so close that we know how to do that to each other. And she just doesn't want to ever be in a position where she takes something that I've said out of context. And she's not a vindictive person, but obviously, you know, we're very close sisters. And there are times where we
cutting words
argue and sometimes we want to hurt each other. We're human beings. We want to hurt each other because we feel hurt or whatever. And you know, there's
hurt people do hurt people.
Do they? So how was your week?
It was good. It was good. You know, I had that jajangmyeon
fiasco.
Yeah.
No, but there's nothing worse. Like to watch the noodles go down the drain because you can't stop them.
It was literally the first time it's ever happened. It was the first time it's ever happened. And I was actually surprised it was the first time it's ever happened. I was like, so that was like the stuff I was trying to tell myself to calm myself down.
Right.
I was like, it's not that big of a deal. It's the first time it's ever happened. I was like, dang it, that packet of noodles was $6. I was like, God damn it.
Because it's also not like dropping like a cherry tomato where it like circles the sink for a couple of seconds where you can save it. It's just
package of noodles.
And it's so slippery and goes like right into the...
Mm-hmm. And as soon as some of it started going down the drain, like into the food disposal, I was like, that's no man's land.
No, you can't do that.
I was like, I put on gloves to put my hands
single-handedly like the dirtiest. Have you ever cleaned a
last
garbage
week,
disposal?
I took out not the garbage disposal, but I took out the rubber stopper, and even that was so slimy on the.
You can't eat those noodles.
No, I was like, they belong to the mice, the rats now. I was like, happy Korean Food Day.
What else? Aside from the loss of the noodles.
Other than that, we went to dinner with my mom for, her birthday dinner, which was great. And then, outside of that, I've just been like doing a lot of cooking for my mom this week.
That's so cute.
Trying to catch up on that content. But
gee, I saw that you made a ton of kimchi.
I did.
I didn't get any. You must have forgot where I live.
So you guys didn't hear before, but I brought it up. Susie is not a kimchi monger. Well, maybe she is. I don't want to.
I'm not.
But I made this kimchi and I meant to bring it to you last week and I forgot. And then this week I was like, oh, I'm going to bring it this week. And then I got here and I was like,
fuck. It's okay.
But I did. I made a lot of kimchi.
Yeah.
And a lot. It's the most I've ever made.
Wow.
We literally had to throw stuff out. Well, not really, but we were like having trouble finding containers for it, So we were like looking through all like the old to-go containers.
Ron's just eating a bucket of cream cheese with his hand, like, I'm almost done.
There was actually a little bit of kimchi left in this big jar that I bought to cook with.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, I don't know what to do. So I just was like, I'm just going to eat this kimchi to make room for new kimchi. I was like, this is the weirdest shit I've ever done.
Oh my God. You got all the Tupperware. You put it in like the old butter jar or the butter containers and all that stuff.
All the, the soup.
Cream cheese, the yogurts, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah, it was fun. But it was weird because it was like making it with my mom. But then, like, all the heavy lifting was done by me. So it was, like, mostly me, and then my mom helped me mix it. But it was funny to watch because, like, I'm a get your hands in and just, like... Just, like, fuck it up.
Is
kind
she
of a
different?
Mixer. And I didn't realize until I watched her do it that it's a very
methodical.
Yes. The spinning.
I can actually see my grandmother's hands in my imagination. The spinning and then, like, the really, like, very gentle folding.
Yes.
And you're just so this?
Yeah, that's... No! I didn't even think of that until I saw my mom do it, and I was like, oh.
Well, because you're bruising all the leaves, right? And you're like making it. Hello, live everyone. How are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been doing
Have
that.
some finesse, Edward.
I know now.
Soft, gentle, like a baby.
I was watching my mom do this, and I was like, oh, what she's doing is
very
captivating. And then I was like, I'm just like.
Did she didn't say anything? Like, you're fucking up my fucking shit. No?
No, I think at this point she knows better than like some criticizing. Which is weird because then afterwards she was like, oh, this skaktugi is going to be so good when it ripens. And I was like, it's not good now? I was like, it's not good now? I was like, no, that's not what she meant. Don't do that, Ed.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Are you criticizing it? Oh, you can project already? You know that it's not going to be good? It's not good right now? You crazy.
But sometimes I'm like, I think it's just the Korean language. You know what I mean? She's like, 이거 익으면 진짜 맛있던데. And I was like, I think you mean 익을 때는 진짜 맛있을 것 같다. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I was like, I think it's just the language.
I think it is too.
I'm just a little sensitive.
You are?
Yeah. Just a little bit. To heat.
I know. It's very hot here. And I'm wearing a fucking blazer, so I don't want to fucking hear it from you.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. That is very good.
So I know you haven't been on social media much or on TikTok anymore.
Oh, I have been enough. A little bit, because we were talking earlier about like people who we need to know when to stop, right?
Well, right. So, in case you don't know, there is this drama on TikTok with this woman, Fence Lady. She's been dubbed Crazy Karen or Fence Lady, and they're up in, I think, Toronto, and
in Canada.
And it's a long story, but basically some family built a fence on this other lady's property and they wouldn't move it. And so she took it into her own hands and she started chopping down the fence.
It's straight up like from a 90s sitcom,
it really
to be honest with you.
And so there's like a video of them with like one of those like hacksaws, just like fucking hacking the fence. And there's this person who's like, what are you doing? You can't chop the fence down. And she's like, I can do it. Fuck, I want it. Whatever. So she's painted to look like she's totally crazy. And obviously there's little to no context. The context was our next door neighbor is cutting down our fence and she's, a lunatic. We come to find out that the fence actually was on her property, not just on the property line, but on her property. So much so that they had to move it. But the girl that made the video made all these follow-up videos. Her name's Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany, if you're listening, how are you?
I'm the podcast guy.
I'm your worst fucking nightmare. And so I guess allegedly, we'll say, because I know that Tiffany's listening, allegedly, not allegedly, Tiffany made these follow-up videos. Yes. And all these videos were saying like why they were justified in, making that video and why they were justified in having the fence there and all this stuff. And I don't really even care about that.
She didn't really bring too much factual information.
Of course she didn't. Yeah. And also she doesn't even live there. This is her parents' house, so it's like, I don't know how much you knew about your mother's dwellings and my parents' property when I was in my 20s. I knew very little, whatever. But so anyway, so she posts all these things and this woman, fence lady, who is this like older, maybe 60-year-old, maybe 65-year-old Chinese immigrant woman, makes a video. And she says, this is what really happened and this is what's going on. I can't remember. There's so much has happened since. But basically it makes this rebuttal video. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not what happened. And also Tiffany made this video showing the fence lady having like a interaction with her younger sister.
Yeah, and it looked like she was intruding into their space almost.
Right.
Like they were trying to close the gate on her and she like wouldn't let them. Right. She was yelling. That's what it looked like.
Which wasn't the case at all. The actual case was the younger sister first was demanding that they stop cutting down the fence. Then she went onto the fence lady's property and then they had like a minor physical altercation. Then they go to the end, what looks like the end of the driveway, and how Tiffany sets it up is, oh, well, you guys didn't see that fence lady, told my sister to fuck off, when in the previous, just earlier videos, the young girl was like,
which isn't even really offensive.
Oh, come on. Like, grow up.
Pun intended, offensive.
Offense. But right prior to that, the young sister, who is a minor, is like, don't cut down our fucking fence. I'm going to call the fucking cops. Fuck this, that, and the fucking other.
But like a not about to be a minor. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. I just mean that like she's borderline almost an adult.
Yeah, she looks like 16, 17 years old. She's not like 9.
No, she's like about to end high school soon.
Yeah, I think so. And so the way Tiffany phrases it is like, oh, can you believe that she told my sister to fuck off? She's just a kid. Like, no, your sister accosted her at her house and then had an altercation. Then
all she did was match her sister's energy.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So then she shows part of this video where she's like, she tells my sister to fuck off. But what she fails to keep in the video was the very, very tail end of the video, where the sister tells this older Chinese lady who says, says something about, you fuck off or something like that. She says, learn how to speak English and then come talk to me, and then slams the gate. And it's like, after having seen like, even before that, I knew there were going to be some kind of shades of racism or, anti-immigration or whatever. I don't even know. But I knew there was going to be something, because it wasn't just as simple and cut and dry as this crazy woman who's just gone on a rampage and is cutting down fences in their neighborhood. No way. Sense. It doesn't happen like that.
Doesn't, yeah.
So then, of course, obviously, we're making all these videos. And so really what it boils down to is that Tiffany is an entitled brat who thought that she was going to jump on the internet, make a video about some woman who is this immigrant with limited English, speaking skills, and just sensationalize the situation and, use it to gain clout and, and obviously this is just my opinion, but, using it to become an influencer and using it so that people will, she got millions of views on her video and her follow-up videos. Yep. So she's thinking like, this is going to be my way into, because she wants to be an influencer. That's what her, her whole goal is. So, but what happens is that this Chinese lady is like, oh, no. I said this in one of my videos. Oh, fuck me? No, fuck you.
Yeah. I have never seen so many people in the comments be like, and these were their literal words. They were saying like, I've never flipped sides so quickly. And I said this in subsequent videos is like, you completely, made us distrust you. Like you completely framed it so It was so
poorly.
Manipulative.
So manipulative. And it's so clear that she was just trying to exploit this woman and the situation. And
using hate mongering.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And like the thing is like when you omit stuff from a story or deliberately make it, edit things in a certain way, and you leave out very pertinent, important information, and it starts to come out, you've broken the trust of the public. How are we supposed to believe you? No matter what you say now, we don't fucking believe you. Also, you acted like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
What a spoiled fucking brat.
What a brat.
If one of my kids was online acting the way that she did and acted so entitled to be like, oh my God, so like this like fucking crazy lady, like I'd be like, why are you talking about our family's business on the internet to people who don't know what is going on? What are you doing? This is our home. We live here. Like, are you insane? Like, my daughters would, but it turns out, I guess it was the aunt. I think it was her aunt or her mom, Annabelle Matterig, who is on Facebook, was the one who actually posted the whole video of the exchange when the sister says, learn how to speak English.
She didn't mean it vindictively, right?
No,
she just forgot to edit it out.
She didn't edit it out like Tiffany did, which I find so hilarious.
Calls accidentally coming from inside the house.
Accidentally is exactly the operative word. She's thinking like, oh, I'm going to, hype up my family and show everybody how crazy this lady is. It's like, actually, you just showed everybody how racist your niece or daughter is.
Not to mention her younger sister was caught like spraying the fence lady.
Yeah, I forgot that whole part. Oh my God. That's like one of the most important parts. How could I forget that? Yes. The lady is doing a video explaining the fence and like how close it is to the house. And in the background.
Talk about not having any nunchi.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the girl standing like on her property, like just like watching to see what they're doing. Then she comes out and she makes it look like she's
in the far
back. That she's watering their garden, and then she starts spraying the Chinese lady.
She has this like weird flick of the wrist that like clearly goes in her. It's like what?
P.S.
Who
like
does
you're
that?
assaulting her, or that's battery.
I'm a basic guy that loves to hose down his driveway. I don't know. It's a guy thing, and I've never done this with the host.
She's intentionally doing it, and it's like. You have so many things. Like if you're going to try to have the upper hand in a situation like this, you got to cover all your bases. You know what I mean? Like she didn't think for 1 second that this lady was going to have all this information and that she was going to have access to TikTok in the way that she did, or that she would have somebody. I think Fence Lady has somebody who's helping her like put together her thoughts and like present them.
Yeah, but even still, there are parts like most of the time she is speaking Chinese or some sort of Chinese, either Mandarin, Cantonese, whatever it is. And she obviously it's most comfortable for her, but when she speaks English,
she's you can completely understand.
Totally understand her. She does have an accent, but it's not like so heavy that you're like, what? Very clear.
And that is like a tactic of people who have like, and I think Tiffany and her family, I know that they're half Filipino and Indian.
They're Asian. They're fully Asian.
I saw on her aunt or her mom, I don't know which one she is, that she was speaking in another language on her Facebook, like typed up something in another language. No, her aunt or her mom.
Oh.
So it's like, so you come from a family of immigrants, and for you to have this attitude about people who don't speak English is so sad. And that's so clearly internalized racism. And the reason it makes me so angry is because I hate this idea that just because you're an immigrant to another place and because you don't have a perfect grasp of whatever the native language is that somehow you are less intelligent than everybody else that's there. And it's like,
it's the opposite.
It's the absolute opposite. But even if they were, it's like, why would you use their language or their inability to speak one language perfectly against them? It's purely racism. It's purely, hatred. And I've seen it happen to my parents. I'm so sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. Why? She said it so fucking clearly. Yeah. You're just saying that to berate or to what's what I'm looking for?
Like to antagonize her?
To antagonize her. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So it really fired me up because I could definitely see somebody doing or saying something like that, like to my mom.
If her mother or aunt is like so not like she's clearly wasn't born here, you know what I mean? So like it should be something that's very relatable.
Right.
And like now, not only that, but like you're giving license for other people to do it.
Right.
Which includes your own mother or aunt.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Wrap your head around that.
Yeah, and it's not even a big rap. It's like a...
You're giving somebody who has broken English and an accent the authority to then make fun of somebody else who
not
has...
Not even
like,
when you said it. And then but then you clearly knew enough to omit it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you knew to admit it. So you knew it was wrong somewhere along the line.
Right.
And then to do all that and then keep going. That's the part where it's like, because now, like you've been saying, no one knows what you're being honest about.
No, absolutely not.
Like in any sense of the word, like you're the type of person who's willing to lie about the smallest thing, you know? So like, how can anyone trust anything you say about anything?
So then in an act of total, like to talk about temper tantrums, Tiffany writes out this whole fucking like Shakespearean monologue.
I only read one sentence.
And she names Fence Lady, gives out her full name in that thing. I don't know if you saw it.
You know, I actually saw a video yesterday where some guy was like, people are leaking Fence Lady's address.
Yeah.
Stop.
He does like concrete stuff in Canada. So he's actually been part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But she puts the Chinese lady's, the Fence Lady's name in that thing. Fence Lady clearly does not want her name out there. Otherwise she wouldn't have gone by Fence Lady, you know? So
not to mention, unless you, as you and I both know, if you don't post it from a public source,
you just got
doxed.
Doxxing.
Yeah, and that's a federal crime.
Right. So she just doxed that lady. So then Fence Lady then makes a third video saying, I will give you 24 hours to remove all my personal information from your social media. And I was like,
she is a boss.
I know.
For somebody who's never been, I mean, I don't know if it's coming from her or whoever's helping her, but that is a boss
Fence
move.
Lady is a fucking gangster.
Oh my
you have
God.
24 hours to comply. I was like, oh shit, oh my God, this is the best. Within hours.
Clearly, one side has legal representation,
Absolutely.
and the other side
has her teenage sister telling her what
literally
to do.
are running into the wall with blindfolds on repeatedly.
It's so hilarious. It's so great. And the way it's so calm. And she's like, please respect me the way that I've respected you. To remove all of my information from your social media, you have 24 hours. I was like...
It's wild when people don't realize like that the side you're on is throwing punches and the other side isn't throwing any punches and they're just defending themselves, but you're going to keep throwing punches.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I think, you know, barring Tiffany maybe coming on our podcast, this might be the end of what we hear from Miss
probably.
Tiffany.
But in the one comment section of one of Susie's recent-ish videos,
so brave.
She like came on and she was like talking shit. She was like, take down this video. And then I even wrote a comment and then she commented under mine. She's like, oh, you're the podcast guy. I was like, I think you're trying to be condescending, but like podcast guy up here.
Yeah.
Racist is like, can't even see it. It's so down low.
Like she has the nerve to be like, take down. Oh, she goes, oh, I see you took down your videos. I'm like, no, they're all there. And she goes, stop talking about me. Stop making videos about me. I'm like,
stop making it public.
Hey, Tiffany, one thing you need to know about me is if you tell me to stop doing something I want to do, I'm going to do it, I don't know, 100 times harder. Yeah. Way worse than I had done it before. Yeah. Like, I might not be done making videos about Tiffany. I'm a fucking petty bitch. And you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it.
Can we call you Tiff? Like, hey, Tiff.
Hey, Tiffy?
Tiffy? Oh, Tiffy.
And here was like, the thing that really vexes me about this whole thing, is that she's like, people are being so mean to me and they're saying such horrible things. It's like,
Tiffy.
Do you think any of us, do you think that Ed and I would be having a conversation about your fucking fence if you yourself hadn't brought all of this onto yourself? You wanted so badly to just create this narrative and be this like popular girl on TikTok that you tried it.
We all saw you for the bully and then called you out for it. And that's not bullying. Just calling out what we see.
Or it's like, just be accountable for what you've done.
Right.
Cop to it. What have you done? You exploited a situation. You deliberately left information out. You tried to make somebody look bad who was really not doing anything wrong to begin with. You tried to sensationalize, something super kind of benign. You then vilified another woman, and then you victimized your sister. You know what I mean? It's like
ultimately probably screwing your parents over.
Where are your parents?
Like, what?
Your mom and dad are probably so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Like
now all the evidence is online. It's all there. Everyone can see it. We can all see it. Like there is no narrative anymore because it's all out there and that's on you.
Totally on you. And now anytime somebody searches your name, guess what's going to come up? Fence lady.
Liar, manipulative, racist.
And
those
I'm
words.
sure that people have already started like, calling where you work. I think she's like a nursing student, or she like wants to be. And it's like,
so, and we all know the issues with nursing people who are ageist and racist.
Yeah. Bad combination.
Ooh, that's not a good
healthcare
look.
worker, you're supposed to be somebody that they can rely on to take the best care of them when they're feeling the most vulnerable. And
so like maybe you're not able to make those connections, but we're not going to want to take our accented parents to be working under you.
Right.
Because we don't trust you.
We don't trust the care that you would be giving them.
We don't know what kind of things you'd be doing behind the scenes to make yourself look better or make them look worse or get worse.
Or like what biases you'll use and, gaslighting and manipulation that you'd be using, or, omissions of things that are very pertinent and important to the situation at hand.
Who knows where the ceiling is on the stuff you would do wrong?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know. But, she spends a lot of time on the golf course. So maybe, do a couple of, take 18 rounds to really think about what you've done. Because I think, you might have fucked this up for not just yourself, but for your future, maybe for your sister, most definitely for your parents.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't want Tiffany on the show. I want to talk to your mom. I want to talk to your mom and your dad and see how they feel about this whole situation. Supposedly, I guess they're going to be on Inside Edition. I haven't seen it yet, or somebody said that.
Who? The fence lady?
No, Tiffany.
Tiffany's side?
Yeah. In which case, if that happens, I would also like to say a few words on Inside Edition.
You're just going to make it worse.
You're going to make it worse.
Like, listen to the comments. Everyone hates you.
Read the fucking room, Tiffany. Nobody is on your side.
No.
Literally nobody.
There's literally, all the comments are like, I'm jumping ship.
Yeah.
Like, 100%. Literally, Fence Lady went from this negative connotation to like a superhero name.
Right.
Like,
people are like,
we are all shipping this lady.
Fence Lady. We're team Fence Lady. Do you know, like, it's so funny. Tiffany, I think, has like either 6,000 or 8,000 followers. And Fence Lady has like 12,000.
She doesn't even care.
She barely knows what TikTok even is.
You care so much.
She doesn't care. You deserve it.
Yeah. No, but in all honesty, karma.
But I think, and this is me being me again, I really hope that, like, I don't think it's going to happen now just because she's so deeply in it.
She's putting up too much walls to see through it.
But I hope that one day she can look back on this experience and be like, I did a lot of things wrong. And I did things to deliberately hurt somebody. And that was wrong of me. And, all of the repercussions and all of the consequences that I faced were absolutely, what I deserved. And now I'm a better person and I understand, what my biases were. And I understand that I leveraged my ability to speak English perfectly against somebody who doesn't. And I grossly miscalculated and underestimated who they actually are and what they are actually capable of. And that's a mistake I'm never going to make again because I look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Also, I realize that I should think about how my actions could affect, me back before I do them.
Right. And my family.
Especially when it's vindictive.
Right, exactly. And I guess somebody leaked their address.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so scary. And it's like to be the subject of that, plus have your address out there. I guess she doctored the survey. Like there's an image of the survey.
Tiffany did?
Yeah, so Fence Lady put out the survey.
She showed it, where she literally was like, even if it was on the fence line, it said it on the survey. It was like, there's not allowed to be a fence on the property line.
Well, then Tiffany took that same image and blurred out certain things and retyped what things were. Go look at it. It's really funny.
Does she not understand that we saw the original? So when there's additional words that weren't there before.
But people like Tiffany can do whatever they want. I can do whatever I want. I'm Tiffany. No, you can't. We've already seen it. So that's been going on in my social media, and it's been hilarious. But, I also hope that Fence Lady can find some fucking peace because
I hope she finds money.
So stressful.
I hope she finds money via a lawsuit that your parents are going to have to pay for because of you.
Oh, it's going to be so bad.
It's going to be so bad.
You deserve it.
Inside Edition is not paying you enough to cover that.
I mean, will they even pay her?
I don't know.
Ooh, you got Inside Edition money.
I guess when you're that desperate, they don't really offer you money, maybe.
I don't even know. But yeah, that's probably, there's got to be some desperation there. I mean, this is me being me again. Like I know how stressed out she probably is. And I know how scary this probably seems. But the thing is like so many of us tried to tell her so early on, like, you're in the wrong here. Don't continue doing this.
And you can still stop at any point.
You're hurting people. Yeah. And, you're just ending up looking like the villain. We tried, so many people, and all we got was blocked. And it's like, I understand that we're coming at you in a way that you feel like is aggressive, but to people who've never like been challenged, having like boundaries and giving advice and being straightforward feels like an attack. And that's not, we're not attacking you. We're saying like, what are you doing? Yeah. We all know the truth now.
Okay, we can see what you're doing. Like, essentially, everyone's just going, hello?
Hi.
We can see the chocolate on your face. So this like, I'm allergic to chocolate.
Right.
It's not going to work. We're not 5.
Right.
You're not 5.
Right.
You should know this.
Right. So, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But, it's been entertaining.
It's like watching a train wreck, right? Like, what's happening and it's kind of a disaster.
No, because it's less like a train wreck only because it would be like if the conductor kept crashing the train over and over and over. A train wreck is crashing one time. It'd be like if you could throw a train in reverse and then keep re-crashing. Yeah. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Take off your conductor's cap.
Yeah, or the blindfold.
Toot.
Yeah.
Be done.
Just stop everything. Well, on that note.
What? I don't know.
Susie doesn't know what's about to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Today is going to be, for the remainder of the time, we're going to be listening and watching K-pop videos.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not versed in K-pop
at all. Like, not even like only old school?
No, only like mainstream, the handful of BTS songs and like the song they did with Halsey. Like,
not even like Soteji.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
DJ Doc.
No, I know Donald Duck. Daffy Duck.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
I know these names and I've heard of them, but like
some. So we're probably going to start off with some you'll probably recognize because some of them, we're going to start off with some easy ones that have gone very TikTok viral.
Okay.
So you might.
Okay. It'll ring a bell.
Ring a ding-a-ling.
Okay. Ring a ding-a-ling.
I really hate saying that. I don't know why it's my go-to.
I'm not going to be. I'm
so sorry.
Just so you know, this is not OnlyFans. I'm not going to be ringing a ding-a-ling here.
I don't know why that's my go-to for I almost said for dings, for bells. I'm sorry.
Ding-a-lings.
Ding-a-ling? I can't.
Okay. I'm sure I'll recognize
ring.
it. And I know when I was in college, I was friends with a lot of Korean people who listened to Korean music, but I just really never did.
Okay. All right. Let's get into it. So today's episode is going to be based mostly on girl group K-pop because, there's like a lot of different genres and subgroups.
Sure.
So I figured we just like tackle them
one at a time.
A little bit at a time.
Go easy. Okay, cool.
So the first video we have is from a group called Twice. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're huge. They were picked from like a TV show, I think.
Oh, like One Direction?
Kind of.
Okay.
But there's like, I don't even know how many, and I'm sorry for the Twice fans because I'm going to get this wrong, but there's like 11 of them.
Jesus Christ.
But like the sounds the 11 people make.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, that's like all of them.
Oh my God, they're all so beautiful.
Like the production value on these,
yeah.
Right? And I really love how they put like the lyrics
in English. Yeah. I feel like I'm watching a beauty pageant. They're all so pretty.
They're all gorgeous.
God. I mean, I clearly see the appeal of it. It's very catchy, splashy. The girls are gorgeous. It freaks me out a little bit that they all are very similar looking in their faces.
But I guess part of that might be purposeful because they're like want to portray one group, you know?
I guess.
But then like, I don't know if, and you'll see this especially with the girl groups, but they'll like often go through making sure that they also look a little different.
Yeah.
Because they don't want, you know, the monolith. But like, I think it's great because it kind of has this like, I feel like we're missing this in American music right now. This,
yeah.
Like,
very like
happy-go-lucky,
right.
with like the synchronized dancing. Twice, and I picked that one first because it's like pretty like quintessentially K-pop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like mostly Korean singing. It's very
poppy, very palatable, very much like a mainstream music kind of thing, which I totally get and appreciate. And it's very like bright and it's very like energetic and fun.
Yeah, and like people always like the biggest criticism that people have about K-pop is how manufactured it is. Yeah, and even if that's true, it's the execution is just so well done.
Things are mass produced and manufactured because people want it.
Yeah.
Right? So like look at IKEA. You know what I mean?
And
like
that's perfected and honed in to the point where like
I mean, it looks like a very, very succinct production. Yes. You know what I mean? This doesn't look like it just was by mistake or happenstance. No. Like it's very deliberate. And I don't think they
picked all these members because they're like, we can't decide, just choose them all. Like they all have a very...
They're all very distinct and very, like, again, very deliberate. But the thing that and I'm sure, like, if you broke down the group, you'd have that. But what I love about, like, bands in particular is that you get, like, that personality from each band. And maybe this is just, like, my boy band era, you know, coming out. Like, the bad boy, the good boy, the dark and quiet one, and the kid, and the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I can get that from this band just because there's 100 of them.
Yeah. I mean, and just from one video, but like some of the groups that if you watch them or like follow them or listen to the music, you do start seeing, like they do purposely do that.
Like BTS has that, you know what I mean? Like you can definitely see like the smoldering quiet one and the
versus
brooding,
like the one with the voice,
or like
and
the playful, funny one.
Yeah,
exactly. So
and the one you're like, you're really good looking.
You're just hot.
You're just gorgeous.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. I like that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So this next one is a group called ITZY. They're like a little bit newer. They're like 2-3 years old.
I feel like I've heard of them.
But they've gone viral on TikTok sometimes.
I'm thinking ITZY, which I think is a makeup company. Oh, my daughter was listening to this song.
Really?
Yes.
Recently?
Yeah.
So this one, they have 4 members.
Okay.
And
this has a very Kill Bill vibe to it, which I like.
The beginning, the intro.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 5 members. Sorry, don't kill me.
K-pop stans are going to ruin your life now.
I think I've been listening to a lot of K-pop recently because like I need help staying happy. You know what I mean? I need that serotonin.
This is like exactly.
It's like a
dopamine boost.
It's like a boost. It is like an overdose.
Well, I think that's what a lot of people like about it, right?
Yeah. I was saying to Ron the other day, I was like, K-pop is kind of like Korean country music. Only in the sense that like, you know, country music, like no matter what they're singing about, it sounds sad and depressing. K-pop is like the opposite. No matter what they're singing about, it sounds
really happy and carefree.
Like, yes. And there's just something about synchronized dancing that just brings me joy.
They're very, very
they're very in sync.
Yeah, produced.
Yes.
But don't they have like schools and shit in Korea where they go to like K-pop classes and stuff, like K-pop college?
Yeah, so a lot of them, they will literally either do that or they will get signed by a record early on.
Yeah.
And then they literally like have them audition every week.
It's like the Soviet Union and like gymnastics in like the 80s. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you watch these videos about K-pop and like everyone's always talking about biases, you know what I mean? So like they do have those personalities that they want you to gravitate towards.
It's so splashy. Uh-oh, look at them. They're crazy. This gives me like Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, which is like hilarious because the song's called Not Shy, you know?
Right.
Which is like their way of being like, I'm badass, I guess.
Right.
I like ITZY because a lot of their songs have like a little funk to their happiness, you know? Whereas Twice was very like traditionally.
Very pop.
Yeah.
They're all so skinny.
Oh, they're like really skinny.
Yeah. I could see that being a little problematic.
It is.
But
it is problematic.
I mean, we all know Korea to be incredibly fat phobic as it is.
Very.
So to splash up between 5 and 10 really rail thin girls all dancing around does create, I'm sure, in Korea, a lot of issues for young girls.
There was one idol from one of the groups that in a video, she was like, oh, just eat. Whatever you want, just eat. And she went viral because they were like, yes, we need more of this.
Yeah, but it's like her arm looks like this.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like they can't be like malnourished because they train so much, like they would die.
Right. And this is not a commentary on their bodies as individuals. No, just genre as a whole. And I'm sure there are other bands or groups that have maybe women that are less this way, but from what I'm seeing so far.
I think that's the problem. Is like, it's fine if that's not the standard, but it seems to be that you can only be successful if you can.
And, in, more recent times, I think body positivity in the pop music genres in the United States is trying to be more inclusive of women of all body types. This I have yet to see here. But I only think of this as from the perspective of like a mother raising 2 young girls who will be looking at things like this and do look at things like this. And that does raise a little bit of concern for me to see just like unilaterally all of them looking one way as far as their bodies go. But, again, evolutions and things like this can be slow, and I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that these are things that I, as a consumer, will be mindful of.
I think most of us agree.
As I present them to my children, if I present them to my children. Oh, yeah. Next is...
So this one you probably will recognize. It has gone very viral very recently.
Oh, I know this song. My youngest, loves this song.
Yeah, in fact,
and there's even a dance to it.
Yep, they've broken like charts for like one of the first K-pop songs to go so high.
I heard that this group was about to give up right before, and then they released this.
There's actually so much drama with this group right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they literally were supposed to be at KCON a week ago, and they had to cancel. And they are part of the Barbie soundtrack, and they were supposed to get a music video, but they got the song on the soundtrack, but they never got to release the music video because they're feuding with their label right now.
Oh no!
Because the label has the power, everything is being canceled from right now until it gets. But it's kind of on them. In fact, the internet is hating on the group.
Oh no!
They're backing the label.
Really?
For good reason, but it's a long story.
Okay,
I'll tell you about it.
All right, push play. Let's hear it.
So the TikTok version is sped up usually, and then there's two versions. There's a Korean English version, and there's a full English version.
Right.
In fact, the full English version is the one that went viral, and a lot of people didn't realize it was K-pop in the beginning.
They're much more kind of like cuties, like baby girls.
Yep. And I think that was the intended image, because this group and the next group, they're very young. Like I think they're like 17, 18-ish.
Yeah, because the group right before was not like this.
No. Yeah. They were a little bit older. The one was 16 when she got signed on the last group, but the majority of them were like in their early 20s. You know? Yeah, they like really lean into that. There's like a lot of like you can almost hear them if you watch any Korean where they're like, oh yeah, that's like their whole persona. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I love this song.
It's good.
It's so good. Sometimes I like watch through these videos and I'm like, did I own that shirt in the 90s? I'm like, I feel like I own that.
Like I have this like compulsion to like criticize it, but I don't want to. I don't want to criticize it, but I want to say like, you know, there's very like, I'm a little girl, like Asian schoolgirl vibe, and you know,
a little bit. But I think for them it's appropriate because they're yeah.
Oh, they're adorable.
They are adorable.
Shut up, Susie. They're adorable.
Yeah, because what's on the opposite side, right? They're like too sexual.
Dragon lady, yeah. Sexy, right.
And if you really think about it, the words, like they're talking about like love is a real thing. It's not this fairy tale.
Right,
you know?
right. They're adorable.
It's hard.
That's precious. That's precious. They're like babies. They're like my daughters. Buck up, girls. Oh, I know NewJeans too.
Yeah.
So I know them kind of peripherally, just because sometimes my daughters will be like, oh, I love this song. And I'm like, what the fuck song is this?
They're learning it from TikTok.
Yeah.
For sure.
My girls aren't even on TikTok. They're learning it from their friends who watch TikTok, I guess.
TikTok, yeah. So indirectly through TikTok.
We're also planning a big trip to Korea next year. Like everybody, my sisters, both my families, all of our families, my parents, everybody's going.
Sisters and your parents?
Yes, a lot. It was like, how many of the 4 times 12, 14 people. So all the girls are learning Korean. They're like immersed. Everybody's on Duolingo right now.
Oh my gosh,
it's
that's
really
crazy.
cute. So anyway, what's the next one?
Put the Duolingo down. Call your grandpa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
My dad's like, I don't want to teach you. If you ever learned fractions from my father, trust me, you don't want him to teach you anything. Yeah. You'll have your face in a bucket of ice because he doesn't think you're concentrating.
Yeah. Or to let down all the swelling from the crying.
Right. All right.
So
Last
this one
song. Which
is,
one's one?
There's two more. There's this one.
Okay.
There's NewJeans and then the biggest K-pop.
Oh, this is the song my daughter was listening to. The other song said something about being shy too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is actually the song. Yeah.
This is one of their, this was released like a month ago. It's huge.
Yeah.
And NewJeans, they're also brand new from like a year ago, and they're also really young.
Weren't they the ones that played recently in like New York or somewhere? Like a huge show?
Yeah. No, this is the one they played at Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
And then the whole crowd was singing this song, including the Korean parts, and that's the one that made me cry.
Right. Aww. They're all so cute and so pretty.
Yeah, this video's kind of hilarious. They're just like hanging out, and this was their first single. So they're like hearing it, and they're like, whoa, where's that coming from? And I think it's really smart because they went overseas to record this video. So it's like, yes, we're K-pop, but like, look at all the people that look like you.
I'm super shy, but wait a minute while I make you mine. 달리는 지금도 you're on my mind all the time. I wanna tell you, but I'm super shy.
dance is just everywhere on
Yeah.
TikTok.
But wait a minute while I make it mine, make it mine. 떨리는 지금도 you're on my mind all the time. I wanna tell you, but I'm super shy, super shy. And I wanna go out with you. Where you wanna go? Find a little spot, just sit and talk, looking pretty. Follow me. 우리 둘이 나란히 보이지? 내 눈이 갑자기 빛나지? When you say I'm a dream. You don't even know my name, dear. You don't even know my name, dear. Super shy, but wait a minute while I make it mine, make it mine.
K-pop really is for everybody.
All the time, I wanna tell you, but I'm super shy.
Yeah, there are girls at my kids' school who are not in any way Korean who sing in Korean
Obsessed.
and yeah.
You're on my mind all the
Yeah, even in this part, the parts where they sing Korean, sure, most of it is in English.
Yeah.
But there are parts where I had to like slow it down. I was like, what are they even
Yeah.
saying? I was like, how do these people who don't even speak English or
Yeah.
Korean know what they're even saying?
Something about you, yeah, you're special and you know it, you're the top, babe. I'm super shy, but wait a minute while I make it mine, make it mine. 떨리는 지금도 you're on my mind all the time. I wanna tell you, but I'm super shy, super shy. I'm super shy.
You know what it is? It's all the synchronized dancing that makes you want to dance.
Yes, you do.
Super shy. You don't even know my name, do ya?
The singing is also very and I'm not going to say this and I'm not insulting it. The singing is all very like thin and breathy. Soft, you know what I mean? Like you don't get like a soulful like, you know, everything is
Well, this is like
really
more on the
live.
pop side. They
But-
have some R&B.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So like this form of pop is very much like thin and breathy, but in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
All right, last one. I gotta go home. I'm so tired. I'm starving to death. Oh, I know this band. Oh yeah, this song was huge. It's still being used all the time.
Yeah, so this is probably what jump-started my re-obsession with K-pop. So like when I was growing up, I listened a little bit of K-pop here and there, but I always felt a little bit too self-conscious, you know? Because like whenever people were around, it would just be like Wu-Tang again. And then when I was like, people weren't on the bus, I'd be like, and K-pop, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is BlackPink. This is arguably like the largest group in the world outside of BTS.
Girl group,
Yeah. And yeah, they're just like, I feel like they have a different sound. It's like a little less poppy, a little bit
Grittier.
gritty. Yes,
Yeah,
think that's
I agree. Which I probably prefer. Yeah. Yeah, it's darker. It's moodier.
Yeah.
Look at you now, look at me. Look at you now, look at me. How you like that? Nah. Look at you now, look at me. Look at you now, look at me. Look at you now, look at me.
BlackPink does a really great job where their songs aren't very one note. And it's like, you get like a little bit of everything throughout.
What's up? I'm right back.
Do you see how she like is singing from like a deeper place?
Yeah.
You know, and I just personally I prefer that.
She is really known for her vocals. Her voice is amazing.
미소를 띠며 I kiss you goodbye. 시간비 우선한 걸 좋으니까 이제 너희 하나 둘 셋.
I think we would be remiss not to talk about how much K-pop has borrowed and if not blatantly stolen from, you know,
Yeah.
black, you know, performers and black artists. I think it's a really important thing to not gloss over. And I don't know that it's not always
It's not always addressed, but the thing about K-pop though is that like, yes, they do take a lot from like hip hop culture and stuff, but that's what I mean. Like, especially with BlackPink, they tend to try to incorporate everything. Like sometimes you'll hear a little bit of like reggaeton and like some Hispanic beats and like.
But even still though, I just know that based on feedback, and I know a lot of this, K-pop is ubiquitous and so many people love it. I just have heard that some criticisms is that sometimes the blatant stealing or borrowing of black music and rap and hip hop and all that stuff, genres of music, black music particularly, it just gets glossed over, and I don't think it's really. I don't think a lot of Korean people, talk about it. I don't think a lot of Korean people address it at all.
Right.
And I think that's something that if you wanted to bridge the gap, talking about it would be something that I would probably think Korean people would want to actually bring up, or just like pretend like don't pretend like you invented it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they do.
I know you're very defensive about it.
Yeah,
I can feel how defensive you are about it.
No, I mean, like, I do. I agree with you.
You have to admit
I do agree with you.
And I'm not criticizing the performers per se, but I'm just saying, like, the genre at large has. Oh, I love that she's wearing like a hanbok. That's so cute.
Yeah, they're all wearing like
hanbok variations. Yeah, that's so cool.
And Lisa, the one with the pink hair, she's actually Thai.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of like the one girl in NewJeans, I think she's like half Vietnamese and half another Asian culture.
Cool. And again, I'm not criticizing K-pop. I know that people love it, and I love it too.
I don't think it.
I just think that it would be nice if somebody was just like, of course we want to thank, the greats.
I think they have.
Yeah. Okay.
I think some.
And maybe I just don't know enough about it to even say if they have or haven't.
I think some have, but yeah, I mean, I think
as a pay homage to the people whose music you are so inspired by.
Or
and
like even sometimes when they like, I get it. Sometimes they're like, because there are times when like even with BlackPink, they've like taken a line from like a Biggie song and taken a line, you know what I mean? And like they're trying to pay homage to it, which those parts I understand. But there are even times when like they try on the look of the homage. Like there was one song where they like, I think was like playing an homage to like TLC, but then there was like a bunch of braids and I was like, is that okay? I don't know. You know what I mean? So like, I agree. I just also don't know.
There's a lot of issues of appropriation.
For
I think there's a lot of issues of, just blatantly not, addressing the elephant in the room. And, I think that can definitely be something that going forward would help to. Obviously, K-pop is mainstream already, so that's not the problem. But I just think that in order to not create new wounds and not create more division between any, subgroups of people, the acknowledgement is I think a good way to start the conversation. But
who would make that acknowledgement though?
You do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow at noon.
I don't know. I would love that if like BTS accepted an award and was like, we want to thank all the greats of hip hop, all the greats of rap who have inspired us so much, and name their inspirations and say like, we love the music of Biggie and Tupac and TLC, and we've been so inspired by all these black artists, and it's so evident in our music, and we want you to know that this is us showing such an appreciation for it. I think that would really go a long way. It would go a long way for me.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before, but I don't remember.
If it exists,
if you guys know, let us know.
Yeah, if it exists, fantastic. I just, for me personally, to see it just. And I'm not saying that it's a ripoff. I'm just saying that you can definitely see the influences. It's very obvious. Don't get mad.
I'm not getting mad. Yeah. I also think that there is a slight evolution to music, but I do agree. There should be acknowledgements,
Yeah.
Which I feel like there have. I just don't know enough to really speak on it.
Yeah. Right, yeah. I mean, there's even like a Stevie Wonder does a song called Sir Duke. Oh, and in that song, he names a bunch of people from a previous time where he's, definitely taken inspiration from. And it's things like that. I think, I think there are at the very least, good gestures.
I don't think anyone's infallible, even though I do love BlackPink.
I think that, yes, of course. And I'm not saying that they're blatantly doing anything.
No.
I'm just saying if we want to evolve as especially genres of music go, it would be good to hear, I think.
Also, weird coincidence, though. I feel like, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I think the largest demographics of K-pop listeners are actually outside of Koreans are Black and Latinas.
That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I could see why.
Yeah.
So imagine what an impact it would make on all those fans who love the music so much to hear like, oh my God, they've also acknowledged people of my culture and my ethnicity and my race or whatever.
I actually watched this video yesterday where there was, I forget their name, but there's a new K-pop group that's like 3 Black women and I think a Latina.
Oh, I saw them. They sing in Korean.
They sing in Korean, and the white woman, I think it was the woman who was interviewing them, was like, they're like, so you guys are missing the K in K-pop, insinuating that like none of you are Koreans. Like, how can you be doing K-pop? And it's like, well, one, like, first, what you mentioned, like K-pop is an amalgamation of all these genres. So it doesn't really belong to anyone.
Right.
But the one woman in the group, she was like, we sing in Korean.
How much more Korean can I get? Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was really nice to see that a lot of people in the comments had their back. They're like, oh, that lady's being racist.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
I do agree.
Good.
With that being said, thank you for joining us on this fun episode. If you like this series, let us know. We would love to do other subgroups. Like there's R&B, hip hop, underground, I said R&B, yeah. But either way, let us know. Boy bands, BTS, whatever. But otherwise, please make sure you follow us on our socials.
You can find me at Sujo1 on Instagram and TikTok.
And I'm on everything at Etch a Sketch with a J. And the podcast is at What in the Shibal. And please continue to write in, honestly, about anything.
Yeah.
If you have asshole stories or potential asshole stories, let us know. If you want us to give you advice.
I don't know anything.
Yeah. We'll give you our personal advice, not advice.
Yes.
But whatever you want to write us in about, comments, criticisms, whatever. Write them into whatintheshibal@gmail.com. That's SHIBAL. And if you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. Please make sure you like, follow, and ring the bell. I felt like there was more to that song. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. But otherwise, thank you for joining in, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.
Okay, that's hot.
I feel less hot than I did earlier.
Yeah, I think the air conditioning's finally kicked in.
Kicked back in.
But I'm still wearing a blazer.
Oh, right. At least it looks linen-ish.
It is linen, yeah.
I was going to make a joke about how you're in the professional version of your outfit from last week. Because you had on that white button-up shirt.
I did.
Yeah.